Hi friends, welcome back to the new episode of Flowable Learning, and in today's episode we are going to create and integrate a Flowable application using the community version with a Spring Boot microservice. Friends, I would like to mention here that today I am recording this video with a new microphone from USB device Blue Yeti. So I would like you to share the feedback in the comment section with the audio experience you will be having in this tutorial. So let's quickly discuss the agenda of today's video. We are going to create an end-to-end integration. So here we should have some prerequisites which is already discussed in our earlier tutorials, wherein you should be having a clear understanding and overview of the Flowable BPM, how we can install the Flowable community version, how we can install a PostgreDB, deployment techniques of Flowable, and the overview of a few important Flowable database tables. So all these sections we have already discussed in earlier tutorials. If you have missed to watch those videos, you can refer my earlier videos. Now basically I'm going to cover this entire video into two parts, wherein in the today's video we are going to cover these two topics where we are going to change in-memory S2 database which comes with the default settings when you install a Flowable community version. So we are going to use some other database, like in our case we are going to use Postgres. However, there are other supported database as well, like Oracle, Postgre, MySQL, MS SQL and DB2. You can configure any other database as well as per your choice, which is going to be similar. Second thing is we are going to create a sample application using Flowable Modeler, where we are going to create some user task and business rules. We'll deploy it using the Flowable Modeler, and then we can validate in the database whether this deployment is successful or not. So after that, in the next video, part 2 of this series, what you will understand is we are going to create a Spring Boot application. And before that, we should understand what is Spring Boot is. In a nutshell, it's an open source Java based framework which is used to create the microservices. It offers a very quick way to build or develop Java applications by just including the dependencies in POM XML and configuring the properties in your YAML or properties file. So overall, it makes the development activities much simpler and quicker. So same way, in the next video, when we are going to create an application, we are going to include the dependencies of Flowable. We'll see what all dependencies are such, and then we'll configure some database properties, and also we'll create some Java REST APIs for instantiating a case, completing the user task and retrieving the pending task. And same we can validate using the Postman application. So to start with our first step, right, where we are going to change the database properties, I will divide it into three subsections. First is you can go to the Apache Tomcat web apps folder, and there you will find the Flowable REST and Flowable UI folders. Within that, there is an web-enough classes folder is there. You will find Flowable-default.properties. There you need to change the default DB configurations. You need to give the data source driver class, URL, username and password of your database. Second step is you need to download the respective jar from respective site. Like if for the Postgre I'm giving this download URL as well, you can download the jar and put it into the Apache Tomcat lib folder. And last, once you are done with that, you can start the Tomcat server going to the bin directory and use startup.bat or startup.sh based upon the type of operating system you are using. So as we all know, whenever we download the Flowable community version, right, in the var files, you will be getting these two vars, Flowable-REST, which is used for the backend services, and Flowable-UI, which is used for the front-end services. These we need to copy into the Tomcat web apps folder, so that we already understood and learned in our initial videos. So to change the properties, we need to go into these two folders. These two folders are created because we have kept these two var files in the Apache. So the path is web apps. You can go to the Flowable REST, web-enough classes, and there you will find this Flowable-default.properties. You can open this file. There are a lot of configurations are there, application properties. You can leave it for them for now. And what we need to do is we need to go to the database properties. You can see over here the default H2 properties are configured, so that first of all we should comment. So with this we have disabled the H2 database configuration, and we can keep this Postgre database properties. So I'm giving the driver class, URL, username and password for your database. So that's it. With that you can close, and then again you can go to the Flowable UI folder. Within that web-enough classes you will find Flowable default properties. Here you will find all database related properties configured which are supported by the Flowable for Oracle, SQL, S2DB and everything. So I'll comment the S2 properties, and there in the same file you will find the Postgre related properties as well for the URL as well as for the JDBC connection. So just uncomment them, and that's it. The default username and password I kept it for the Flowable database as well. So in case you have different username and password for your database, you can change the details over here. As of now I keep the same, so I'm good with the change of these properties. With this, right, whenever you are starting your application, this Postgre related properties will be loaded by the Flowable. Now the most important part here is, after you change these settings, right, you need to go into the lib section and you need to copy the Postgre jar file in this location. So in case you are using any other database, MySQL or Oracle or any other database, you need to download the respective jar and keep it there. After that it's quite simple. You can go to the bin directory and start Flowable with the script startup.bat. So this will start your Flowable open source community version with the configured database. It will take some time, so I'll pause this video for the benefit of interest of the time, and will resume once the application is getting started. So guys, Flowable application has started successfully on the default port 8080. So with this, right, we have covered the first part of changing the default properties of database. Now we'll create a sample application using the Flowable modeler. So let's access it. The default URL is like localhost 8080, as I'm running it on my local machine, and Flowable-UI. With this you'll get this dashboard. For designing any models, we know we have to go into the modeler app, and there I have already created a very simple tutorial application has been created for the vaccination. So here I'm starting with the none start event, and when we are calling it from the backend, I will be passing some variables which is like name, KYC, age, state, status and title of the applicant. With this, an application will be created. It first will go for a business rule. So it is a very simple rule where we are checking what is the KYC status. Based upon that we are updating the status. So as of now it is very simple, but I kept it as a business rule because in the later videos we are going to mature this application, and then this business rule will be more helpful. So based upon the status outcome, right, if it is KYC is pending, we are closing this workflow, and if KYC is okay, we are moving it to a user task and waiting for an approval. Once approval is given by the user activity, we are completing this workflow. So that's about this application, and for deploying it, right, we can go to the modeler apps and then we can click on publish. With this, an application will be published successfully. There are other techniques as well for deploying any application which we already discussed in our earlier videos, but I have used the first technique of deploying the application using the Flowable design or modeler. The other techniques are like we can deploy it using the Flowable control or admin, or we can deploy using the REST APIs by using the repository services provided by the Flowable, or by using the Spring Boot application itself by keeping our executable file in the resources folder. So like this application has been already deployed, right? So we can see in the database whether it is being deployed successfully or not. For this, I'm opening this pgadmin used for the SQL queries executor. Here this is my Flowable database. I'll open in console. So the table which is used is ACT RE deployment for the product related deployments. So our key name is sample vaccination app. I'm using it, and we'll see if it has been deployed or not. Yeah, so it has been deployed some time ago. So with this we have verified the application is also deployed successfully, and with this, yeah, we are done with the first and second part, and the remaining part of this tutorial, right, we are going to discuss in the part 2. So with this, I'll stop this video for now. I really appreciate your time and interest in watching the tutorials which I publish on the Flowable. But if you still like it, then please share and comment on my videos and subscribe to my channel if it is really helpful. Till that time, stay safe and stay healthy, and we'll meet you soon in the next video with the part 2 of Flowable Spring Boot application.